Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm on a beautiful day here in Alabama. Temperatures have started out a little low this morning, but I guarantee you it won't be long before I'll be shedding my little shirt jacket and realizing that we're still in Alabama for the time being. I'm starting out here, headed to the barn, and I just thought I would share with you guys that I am feeling much better. I don't know what happened. I guess my body just decided to flip that switch off and get back to the ways of life before my flare-up. I appreciate every one of you that reached out to me offering suggestions. I did read them, and I even reached out to my doctor, which may sound crazy, but I didn't see any reason to do that. So this past weekend, I reached out to my doctor and I just told him what was going on, and lo and behold, it was over the weekend. I wake up Monday morning and I have a message in the portal that he was going to call me in something to help me get through the flare, and I was better. So I do have an appointment this month, not this week, this month, and I will discuss the flare with him and tell him I'm going to save that prescription for hopefully a long time. And I know it's going to happen again. From reading you guys' comments, it's just something that we deal with when we have autoimmune diseases. And unfortunate, but it is what it is, and just a little bump in the road. But as I passed by this wagon, it made me think, I've got so many things that I want to do. We have passed that Halloween mark, and some of you may feel like, well, we got Thanksgiving first, but I see this wagon as it could be a possibility that we get a call saying there's a lot of extra pumpkins. And wouldn't it be beautiful if it looked like it was filled up with pumpkins? Doesn't necessarily have to be filled up, because that would take probably an 18-wheeler load. But my idea is I could take some 2x4s and put it almost to the top, and then put pallets across the top. And if I get that call for the pumpkins, it'll look like it's full. We won't miss Thanksgiving because it'll be a fall decoration, and then I could use it for Christmas. So I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to give my body a little more time to rest and recover, although that doesn't mean I'm not thinking and my wheels aren't turning about what I can do here on the farm. So following y'all's advice and just letting my body take one day at a time, and while I'm feeling much better, I certainly don't want to go back there prematurely. So I'm out feeding this morning. Jason's trying to get some things finished up editing, and I told him, I said, look, I got this. So while he's willing to help, I am always the one that wants to see about things, and I want to make sure everybody's well in the morning. Not that he can't do it, it's just they have my heart. And so we're going to go make sure everybody's okay and get this farm fed, because I think I got a busy day ahead, but not doing too much physical work. Well, Dee Dee beat me to the barn, and normally the doors are open wide enough for her to squeeze through, but obviously she's trying to tell me I need to open it a little bit wider. You've had one too many cheeseburger and you can't fit through there, can you? All right, let's go. We got work to do, don't we, girl? Yeah. Ooh. There you go. Wow, what a different scene in here. Hey, Pocket. Pookie. Oh, that's Tater. Pocket. Y'all, I'm so excited about the hay being stored inside the barn. Termites gone. We may be on the wheels up in termites soon, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. Right now, I'm just happy to know that I have a place to store the hay. I'm going to go let the goats out, and Willie and Reska, well, they're just about as eager to eat in the morning as Peaches is. Willie here, boy, he gets so happy when it's feeding time. I'm letting your food soak, buddy. It won't be but just another minute. I promise you, I'm gonna get you and Reska fed, along with the cows. And Tater is being a good girl this morning. I don't know what's going on with her, But obviously that new hay bale we put in there yesterday is satisfying her, because she's usually singing early in the morning. And if y'all notice, there's one cow missing. I looked over there and I thought, uh-oh, something's wrong. That's my immediate thought when there's not 5 heads over there waiting to be fed. And Matilda, she's obviously, there we go, Tater, the most content bovine that we have, because you can see her way out in the pasture, not having a care in the world about waiting for feed. You can see they hadn't missed a meal. And isn't that right, Willie? I'm gonna get you, buddy. I promise you. You're next. You're next. All right, everybody's let out. And Topper, you're looking beautiful this morning. Tip and Bootsy and Bo Peep. We got some of them that decided first off this morning they needed to climb. What are y'all doing this morning? Where's little Laura? Where's my little Laura? There she is. Hey, sweet girl. You gonna get up in there with your brothers? The whole family trying to get on top of the hay bale. Looked out here yesterday, the hay bale was a lot taller. They've toppled a lot of it over, but I could see from the drive over to the left over here, Tip standing on the very top of it. And Laura obviously learned from Tip, because she's trying to get there early this morning. All right, y'all. Everybody else's food should be ready. Ernest T said he's on the move this morning. What you doing, buddy? Oh, there they go. There they go. Off to the races. Y'all feeling good this morning? I see Nugget down there at the other end of the pasture. Y'all go see what Nugget's doing. Well, it looks like reinforcement has stopped over at the chicken coop. I believe that's Jason and Holly and... Nope, there's Holly. Holly's running by. I believe Jason realizes that I hadn't taken care of the chickens, and he's gonna stop over there and take care of those. As I was walking to the barn to get the Willie and Ruscus buckets that have been soaking, something caught my eye, and that was Miss Biscuit laying on the top of the stack of hay bales. I know the cats appreciate being so high up on the lookout perch. Yesterday evening, Sylvester had made his home out there, and of course Bramble also. So the cats really appreciate the fact that we're using the barn for what it was intended to do. Makes you sleepy, doesn't it, girl? I see you, big boy. You ready to eat? All right, I got 2 buckets in one hand and a camera in the other, so you better behave, okay? Here we go. Maybe not. There we go. All right, buddy. You gonna show everybody how you talk about your feed? Yeah. You sing every morning, don't you? You're a good singer. What you talking about? Huh? Reska doesn't do that. No? You just excited, aren't you? Yeah. Sweet little horsey noises. All right, buddy. Yours is black. Reska's is red. Let's get you poured up here. There you go. There's your good breakfast. Let's get it in the bucket. There we go. There's your good breakfast. All right, y'all are next up. And I am happy to say that Miss Matilda has joined. Glad you came, girl. You need that lubricant. Yesterday when we put that hay bale out, we put a new hay bale out, and this girl right here, she was skipping and jumping. It was more excitement than I have seen in her since she got here. Look at the size difference. Matilda is probably around 9 months old, I would say, and while she's not near about finished growing, she's quite a bit smaller than Moody. And the tallest cow in the world is a Holstein heifer. So I just anticipate that she's gonna give Moody a run for his money. Make sure the fence is off. Yes. All right, Tater, you ready? There you go, big girl. All right, Matilda. Come down here on the end, girl. Here, come down here. Come on, here's your bucket. Come on. Good girl. You know yours is in the bucket, don't you? Yep. And make sure you get your lubricant. All right, we got a little horse manure we got to get up this morning. I received a call from my friend Catherine over at G&G, and she told me the weather's about to change drastically here in Alabama, and that means something for a plant that she has. She's growing rosale hibiscus, and it's a flower, and it has great medicinal qualities. One of them being a lot of vitamin C. Does not contain caffeine, and you can make a tea out of it. You can make jams, you can make jellies, and she's got a bush that's slap full. Next week, we're expecting temperatures one day to not get out of the 40s for the highs. We've had a couple of light frosts here, but no hard freezes. Well, the lows those days are supposed to freeze. That means her blooms will not be there anymore. And she's harvested all that she wants off of this bush, all that she can possibly use, and asked if I wanted to come over and get some. So I'm going to head over to Catherine's. She's not going to be home. She told me to help myself because she doesn't want this to go to waste, and I certainly don't either. So we're going to head over there and see if we can't cut some of these blooms off. I think I'm going to have to shed my shirt jack before I get out. Peaches, I just heard that the temperatures are about to get real low next week, and I'm not sure if what you got stacked up over here is going to be enough. So I may need to pick you up another bag of shavings, because I know how you like to make that big tall bed, and you always let us know a day ahead when cold weather's coming. Make that bed high, get it all tucked in, and who knows, you might want to build one for Pocket too. You're about finished, aren't you? Pocket's already gone. She's eating her breakfast and she's headed out the door, so I'm going to get her a flake of hay, and you just help yourself, okay? Well, here I am at Catherine from G&G and Tony from Campfire and Countryside's house. And I have this beautiful basket here. I knew it said it somewhere. It's Cog Hill Farm, established 2004, that I am going to harvest this rosale hibiscus. And y'all, it is beautiful. It has been bit by the frost once or twice, but it did not take it out. So I'm thankful that I am feeling better and I'm well enough to come over, clip some of this off. Catherine said take as much as I want to. She's already harvested what she is going to have for the season. And y'all, the bees absolutely love this stuff. And she did warn me that when she collected it, that she cut the whole branch off and took it with her because there were so many bees on it. And that's a good thing. I mean, we encourage bees. I just don't want to get stung as I'm trying to harvest it. So I plan on using my clippers and just cutting off the blooms, taking them home with me, and then prepping them once I get home. And of course, there's a seed inside that we can save for next year and plant this beautiful medicinal plant on our farm. In just a few minutes, I was able to fill this basket full of these beautiful rosale flowers. And now we're going to head home and see what we can come up with to preserve these. Back from Catherine's from picking the beautiful rosale hibiscus flowers, greeted by Bandit at the car door. So we're going to go in and get the flowers prepared to freeze dry. And then I'm going to change clothes so I can head over to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Y'all, just look how beautiful this basket is, filled with these rosale blooms. Oh my goodness, the color is so vibrant and red. And I'm going to get these freeze dried. You probably already figured out that that was my plan, but freeze drying is a great way to preserve, and that way I can decide at a later time exactly what I plan to use the rosale for. Of course, it's good for for making tea, but I could also make jellies. I can make jams. I could share some with my friend Laura over at Simply Making It, who makes our soap products as well as skin products. So possibilities are endless here, but I don't want them to go to waste. So there are a lot more on the vine, and Catherine doesn't want them to go to waste either. So it may be that I get these freeze-dried. If the process goes well and things are as planned, I may go back and pick some more, because once that first freeze hits, they're going to be gone. And the frost didn't do much to them, but a freeze will kill them. So this is something that is going to have to be replanted year by year. And like I mentioned, saving the seed is, well, I had one cut open and I don't know what there it is. I cut one of them open just so I could see myself what the seed pod looked like. Now, you would not want to keep it like this. You would want it to dry out before you extracted the seeds. They do need to be dry before you remove them, because it's simply a green pod right now. And when Catherine did hers, she pulled the petals off by hand. Now, I know there are several different ways that people do it, and I'm just going to have to experiment and figure out what works best for me, because that's a lot that I have to, I'm going to call it shell them. I have to shell these seed pods, and I'm going to put them, y'all have seen us use these before when we clean turnip greens and various other vegetables, but they do need to be washed before I freeze dry them. So I'm going to get them washed up, and we're going to see exactly how much rosale we have once we get them on the freeze dryer trays. Well, that took about 40 minutes, I guess, to shell all the hibiscus away from the seed. And I may or may not have some red hands. No, I didn't cut myself. I used my fingers to pull some of the flowers apart. And Catherine had told me that she pulls the petals away. I've seen some people cut it. And I will say that I used a knife some of the time, and I used my hands some of the time. So this was the yield. And it may not look like much, but I guarantee you this is probably going to fill up 5 freeze dryer trays once I get it spread out and everything. But now I'm going to get it washed up, and I have 2 of these, so I'm just going to use one with clean water, one with the product in it, and I'll switch it around until I don't see any more dirt or debris. Of course, it's been outside in nature, and I don't want to preserve something and then come back and wash it later, so I'll know that it's ready to use once it comes out of the freeze dryer. I put them on this mat that I have, and then I just patted them dry with a paper towel, and going to see how many I can get on each tray. I just don't want to overcrowd them. I want to make sure that I have space for them to actually dry. And this is about half of the supply that I have, so I'm gonna fill up all the trays, I do believe. So I've made my way to the barn where we have a room that has our freeze dryer. And if you have never watched me freeze dry anything, you're about to today. This is a Harvest Right freeze dryer, and the month of November is Black Friday for Harvest Right. The entire month of November, the prices are marked down. It's the lowest of the season, and it's the best time for you to buy a freeze dryer if that's something that you're in the market for. So, perfect time for Catherine over at G&G to have contacted me. I did not state this earlier, but she was out running errands. She told me to come on and gather the hibiscus flowers, and either she would be back or she wouldn't. And she did not make it back in time. So that's why Catherine wasn't in this video. Rosale into the freeze dryer. Last one. And now we wait. Everything has been taken care of animal-wise here at the farm. And from the entrance of the front door, something caught my eye. And y'all, it's this persimmon tree. It's absolutely loaded, and they look like they're just about to be ripe. So while we won't pick those today, I have something I have to take care of. if you guys have followed us for very long, you know that we have had a calendar, a farm calendar, just about every year. And Jacqueline and her family over at Head Family Farm take care of all of the shipping of our products. She makes the merch for us, and the printer has those calendars ready, as well as a new little kids book. So today I'm going to run over to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Jacqueline and Zach have everything inventory wise to deliver these couple of things that just got ready at the local printer. They're not on the website yet. That will be taken care of and should be up around November 10th for you guys to purchase. But I also want to get a few things from her while I'm there to put in rustic relics, and that is the vintage or flea market or general store that we have in downtown Clanton. I took y'all on a tour of that store, and Missy and her husband Rodney were so gracious in offering to have a little display for us to have some of our products. So if you're local or if you're coming from out of town, give you a way to stop and shop and enjoy the downtown area and see a little bit of Cog Hill. So while I'm there dropping off those things, we're going to get a few things for the store as well. Okay, so I'm going to head to Tuscaloosa, to drop off the products from the printer. Right. And also I'm going to pick up a few things that we can put in our rustic relics display.
Yes.
Show you those when we get back.
Okay.
And I wanted you to know that the rosale hibiscus is going in the freeze dryer.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything to it.
Okay.
By the time I get back, it's probably going to be ready to come out.
Great.
So, what do you have planned today?
Oh, we're going to work on, George and myself are going to work on termite is the plan.
You think today might be the day?
I don't know, because the big stuff's done, and now it's a bunch of little stuff.
Okay.
Like setting the carburetor and setting the valves and setting the timing and setting the throttle. And
okay.
Checking the transmission.
So there's obviously nothing that I can do here to help y'all.
No, unless you know how to adjust the clutch.
Well, I like I said, there's nothing I can do here to help y'all.
Right.
So I'm going to head on over to Tuscaloosa,
okay.
And just know that freeze dryer's going. And when I get back, it should be ready, and maybe termite will be too.
Oh gosh, I hope. Fingers crossed.
I'm holding my breath.
It's getting close though.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's getting close.
It's getting closer every time, and it is what it is.
It's
just a tedious process, and we respect George for wanting things to be right.
He is a perfectionist, and George lives 45 minutes away.
Right.
And George has a life, and we have things, and so we have to schedule. It's not like he can come every single day.
That's right.
And that kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we just know one day it's going to be
sooner than later,
up and running, and today
might be.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'll be back soon.
Okay. Be careful.
Well, as y'all can see, Jacqueline and Zach have everything very organized into bins according to coffee and wax melts and lip blush, t-shirts, kids' books, and then we come over to the soaps, water turn-off bracelets, have honey, we have some new lotion. All right, y'all, working by the light of the moon here at Cog Hill Farm. Just got home from getting the products from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Jason has put all the animals up, and I went home and grabbed my sidekick. We can't see anything but your little white eyes, Dee Dee. Went home and grabbed Dee Dee, and we're going to go in and check on our freeze-dried. Oh, goodness. Hey, you can't stay in here. We got to go get something out of the freeze dryer. Yeah. Let's see. Let's turn the light on so we can see you. What you doing? Dee Dee, you quite the character. What'd you do today? Huh? We got to go in and see if our rosale is freeze-dried. If it is, we're going to take it home and jar it up. Come on, I need some help. Cut the car off. Cut the light off. Let's go. Come on, Dee Dee. Come on. Let's go. All right, so as y'all can see, it's dark dark in the barn. Pocket has a nightlight over there in the back corner, which is where her stall is. But I've been wanting to show y'all this, and I just hadn't. You know those chicks that I told you were a little bit on the crazy side? The anconas that are flighty, that I don't know if they're going to stay in the chicken tractor or not. This is where they sleep at night. And day by day, they just keep getting higher. Let's see, are all 9 up on the roost tonight? 6, 7. Oh my goodness, she is walking across like it's a tightrope. Oh, there's another one. That's number 8. Where's number 9? Where are you, number 9? My gracious, I've never been in here and then walk across the 2x6. Am I miscounting? Oh my goodness. And there she is. She's on the top of the stall right there. She is the most, well, Sylvester Bramble, I'm just going to say it. She's got the most brains of any of them. She sure does. I mean, look at her. I hope the lights aren't flashing, but if they are, it's just because they're LED lights and it reacts with the camera and it makes it look like the barn lights are flashing. But they're not actually flashing. It's just the way it comes off in the camera. Look at these crazy girls. Oh my goodness. Yeah, all 9 of them. And I'm not standing up under them. That is like waiting in a line of fire right there. It's gonna happen. Dee Dee, you better move, girl. All right. Well, y'all be safe up there. I'm gonna go check on the freeze dryer. All right, Sylvester. He went on into the milk room. We gotta see if our rosale is ready. Bramble, you going? Oh, Bramble goes through the big door. Let's see what we got. All right, so I added my extra dry time, and it looks like it was a good thing because it is ready. So we're going to mash cancel, and we're going to defrost this machine. So the only thing I have left to do is to open the drain, which is right here. And it's going to make a loud noise. It's just air escaping. I can do it one-handed. My right hand will be a lot better. And that's just releasing the air from outside the machine. Inside the machine, I should say. All right. I can see color. I can see color. And I am very pleased with the way that these turned out color-wise. I know that they're preserved. I can feel of them. And it's like paper. It's so light and thin. And you can actually consume these in salads and eat them raw. So I'm going to try one. I know it's going to be bitter. It is. It's bitter, but I can see mixed in with the salad, this would be really good. It's good. But it almost has I don't know, it's not a floral taste. I don't know how to describe it. I can see where it would be good as a tea. So I still have my tray covers here, which is how I got them to the barn initially. I don't want to squish these beautiful petals while I get them to the house. So I'm going to take these home. You know, we might need to tell Jacqueline that we need some merch redesign. Like, I got friends in high places instead of low places, because that's exactly what we got going on here tonight. The ones that were walking the tightrope are still walking the tightrope. Girls, I sure hope I don't find y'all flat on the ground in the morning. Y'all, you got a little bit more dairy in you than I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, lights out, girls. Get your places. I gotta go home. I gotta get some rosale in the jar, and you can see Sylvester on the top of the hay bale from over here. Good gracious. They literally get higher every night. This is the highest I've seen them. Okay, lights out, no kidding. Get your places. Well, before I head inside, I wanted to show y'all that I got my car pretty full with products that we're going to take to Rustic Relics and put on display there. And there's a few new things that I want to go inside that Jason hasn't seen in person. So we're gonna go inside and get the rosale in the jar and show him these things. Well, I made it back. It's dark.
It's dark.
It's been a long day. It's probably what, 3 hour, a little more than that trip from here to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it is.
But we wanted to make sure that the products were in stock, that the printer had to finish up.
Right.
One of those new products that we were delayed because paper's been hard to get.
Yep.
The local printer here printed Christmas socks, and it's a new kids book that's out, and we are just...
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is... To me, we say this every book, but they keep getting better.
They get better.
They keep getting better, and they change as we change. My hair was short in the first book, and you can see it's got a little more length on it here. You know, Peaches, she's trimmed up, even though she's eating her popcorn. She's looking good. We're not going to say any more about that. But the calendars.
Yes.
I told y'all we had to pick those up. Here's the 2026 calendar, Cog Hill Farm calendar. We've had these in years past. We had a limited number printed, and so I took those over to Jacqueline so she can get these shipped out, and you can order multiple items. You won't have to have a calendar shipped from one place.
That's right.
A book shipped from another place. Everything comes from one place. And this is something that we have not actually put our noses on yet. It is a new lotion that Laura made for us, and guess what it's called? I think you know.
Yep.
Jolly Holly. We Laura threw some names at us, and you immediately said Jolly Holly because obviously, well, she's over here right now, but oh my goodness.
It smells wonderful.
It smells wonderful.
It smells wonderful.
And here you go.
Yep. This is something I've been working on for several months. It is our own cast iron seasoning right here. The instructions are on the back. I've been using this for several months. Absolutely love this. Love it. And I'm going to tell y'all, the tin I've been working out of.
Well, I'll just show it. It was a tester that Laura gave us to make sure that we approved the oils that she used.
You can definitely see the difference in size.
And how many pans have you used? The small tin?
At least, I'm guessing at least 5. 5 skillets.
With multiple coats.
That's 6 coats per skillet. And you can see how much is still left in there.
So 30 coats approximately with this little tin.
With that little tin.
So this is going to last quite some time.
Yes.
And we're quite proud that Laura was able to come up with the oils and the ingredients. Beeswax from Cog Hill even. To make the cast iron seasoning. And those will be available for purchase November the 10th.
Yes.
And the website will be updated with new Christmas merch. And I'm going to get my beautiful rosale put in this jar. And it just came out as beautiful as it went in.
Yeah.
I ate one of them, Jason.
Did you?
I did. Because, I was reading about
it tart?
It is. It's, I don't like bitter things, so to speak. But it's not what I thought. I've seen that people add them to salads and such, raw. But you could add it freeze-dried. And I like it.
That's pretty
good. I
good.
don't know how to explain the flavor, though.
It is tart.
But it's not overly tart.
It's not overly tart.
It's not like it turns your mouth inside out.
No.
I think if we made this as a tea and we added some honey to it, and it's caffeine free naturally, I think that it would be a good way to add some extra vitamins.
Yeah, I agree.
To our, we all know it's cold and flu season coming up, and I'm just excited about being able to preserve these. Now, whether it's going to make a full jar or not, I don't know. That's yet to be seen, but let's see how much it actually makes, and if I can do this without spilling it. I figured my canning funnel was about the biggest.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Biggest mouth funnel that I could find. So I ended up with 2 beautiful jars of rosale, and I think the best way to preserve it is by using the method of sealing the jar lid. So just have this little mechanism on top of my jar lid, and for 15 seconds. And I put the ring on it. It's not actually holding anything down, but Jason, you know what?
What?
After I seal this jar, like I did this one,
Yeah.
when you and I are 74 and 75 years old,
We can
be enjoying our rosale freeze-dried tea, sitting in our rocking chairs on the front porch without a worry in the world.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, y'all. Until the next one, y'all be good.